Hello, and welcome to this video on Transition to Scrum. In this short talk, we will discuss the ways in which an organization can smoothly transition to Scrum from any other traditional methods of project management. Let's get started. Now, we know that implementing Scrum is not an easy task. Resistance can come in various forms, and there are a multitude of variables that become roadblocks during transition. In many cases, a customized method is favorable over strict adherence to any particular method. That being said, we have to understand some of the basic methods for transition. There are two basic techniques, top-down and bottom-up. In top-down, the transition is widely communicated. There is an effort to provide education about the change to everyone involved. However, this communication can be a source of change resistance. The employees may not be happy when faced with the prospect of sudden alterations. With a top-down introduction, there may be communication issues also. Consider a scenario. The head of engineering pushed Scrum into his organization without buy-in from product management or sales. Unsurprisingly, this led to major issues with the product owner role itself, as well as product owner tasks such as product backlog creation. So, how do you resolve such a situation? Trust is the key. It will help establish a good relationship between the team and the Scrum Master. The Scrum Master should neutralize any sort of resistance from the middle management and work his way down. Nobody wants to sit cooped up in a conference room and discuss plans. Developers just want to write codes and put up designs according to the user requirements. So a Scrum Master should give the team an opportunity to set their own realistic iterations. Basically, make an environment conducive to work and devoid of interference. Now let's take a look at the bottom-up approach to transition. This method also involves a lot of planning and preparation, and it is sometimes called the grassroots approach. Here, the change is introduced at the bottom level and then goes up. Most Scrum scholars believe that change is best introduced through this approach. However, it wouldn't be successful without support from middle and top management. There is also less control and coordination. Another possibility is to change things gradually within the organizational structure. Then the transition to Scrum will be incremental. An aspect of transition to consider is how much of the organization requires a transition to Scrum methods. The entire organization could be transitioned at the same time. However, this method is prone to problems that may interrupt profit-generating activities. Therefore, it is more advisable to transition different divisions in an iterative fashion to reduce risk and to provide lessons learned for future iterations. There are some key points to note here. First, keep a backlog of Scrum elements to be introduced and prioritized. Second, consider which elements give you the biggest bang for the buck. And finally, which elements can be easily introduced. Now at this point, we have to ask a few questions, such as, can you have cross-functional feature teams? Can you use increments to get to your release? Can you start with one or a few co-located teams? And if you cannot do continuous integration, can you increase the frequency of your builds? It's clear from this discussion that no single method can be 100% successful. A fine balance is needed, probably a mix of different approaches to introduce change. A Scrum Master should consider the nature of the organization, its work culture, etc., before formulating an appropriate method to transition to Scrum. And with that, we've come to the end of this discussion. Thank you for watching, and keep learning with us.